Lord. Peace, family. Y'all let me know if y'all can hear me. Peace, family. This is the Satrilrose. I am going live. Peace. Okay, so today I have something that I want to talk to you guys. Conversation that I want to have with you guys today, and it's regarding a dream that I had right a while back, and this dream is connecting to what we're about to enter spiritually, right? Again, I don't know who's all in the chat. You know, you guys leave a comment, tag everything. Back, give me 1 second. You guys want to leave donations? I will leave my cash tag in the comment in the chat. I gotta bear with me. This is my first time doing this. And that. Let me know how it sounded. Peace, family. I see we got 2 in the chat. Y'all let me know how it sounded. And as always, you guys leave a like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. You know, I'm trying to beat this algorithm. Oh, definitely trying to beat this algorithm right now. Let me know how it sounded. Leave a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. If the music is too loud, we're about to get started. Okay, so I want to talk to you guys about is, like I said, the dream that I had, right? And this was a few weeks ago coming into the Aries season, right? You know, we're now entering the Taurus season. This was, you know, coming into the Aries season. And with this particular dream, in this dream, there were a few, I want to say gifted, chosen, you know, star seeds, whatever you want to call it, right? Including myself, right? We were in this room. It was almost like a, I don't know, like an aircraft, spacecraft, whatever the case may be, but we were in a room. And we all had certain special abilities, certain gifts that we portrayed, you know, and we all knew that we were set there. We were put there for a specific reason, right? So during that time, in that space, in that room, there had to be a blue light. There was a blue light that ended up appearing, and it was like guiding us almost. Like this light, this specific light was guiding us. It was guiding us through whatever obstacle or whatever, you know, whatever direction we needed to go in, right? So during that time, as we're following this light, the light is literally like speaking to us, like, you know, and it sounds just like you and I, like, you know, it didn't have some, you know what I'm saying, like mysterious type of voice, you know, like you hear in the movies. No, it sounded just like you and I, you know, just telling us, hey, you know, just, hey, let's go this way, let's go that way, you know what I'm talking about? So it's like, you know, we're following, it was me and it was another guy, right? I remember this dream vividly. It was me and another guy. So we're following this light, and we end up in this huge, like room, right? We end up in this room, and there's like a huge, like yellowish, goldish type of door. And as we go through this door, there's a whole nother world. Like there's literally a whole nother world, you know, out on the other side of that door, right? On the other side of that door. So as we're walking through this door, like these entities started to appear. And for whatever reason, I had the gift of teleportation. I had the gift of, you know, going through portals, and also had like some type of, like, you know, kinetic type of power in this dream. And I've been heavy on like X-Men. I've been binge watching X-Men. You know, they came out with the new X-Men '97. You know, and I've been binge watching that. So I guess that's where that comes from, you know. But in this dream, as we were fighting these entities that appeared out of nowhere, right? We started to notice everything is starting to get darker. It's getting darker as we fight these entities, right? And once that battle has come to an end, we end up back into the physical reality. We end up back into this physical reality, right? So I'm realizing that I'm in this physical reality, and for some reason, I'm in a school. Like I'm in a school for like the gifted, I guess. I don't know, because everybody here, they all seem like they had their own style, they had their own swag. You know what I'm talking about? Like everybody had their own thing going on, you know? And I'm shaking everybody's hand. And this is how I was in high school too, man. Like in high school, you know, I'll walk down the hallway, and I'll have shaken at least 10, 20 hands by the time I made it to my next class. So this is what it was in this dream. You know, we were upstairs, you know, and I'm shaking everybody's hand, and I noticed this guy. He's real, like, I don't know, real quiet, real standoffish, like kind of giving everybody like the, I don't want to say cold shoulder, but it's almost like he was, you know, give me 1 second, y'all. Yeah, so it seems like it was almost like he was in his own world. Like, you know, he had an aura about him, right? So I get closer, and it's none other than Tupac Amaru Shakur, right? And I don't normally dream about celebrities. I don't normally have dreams about celebrities, right? So when they do come to me, especially the ones that I idolized at one point in my life, right? Whether it be a child, whether it be a teenager, right? I know that there's a message that that they're trying to get to me, right? So I walked up to Pop and I'm like, taking his hand, I'm like, yeah, what's going on, man? Like, what's up? Like, what's going on? Like, what's, you know what I'm saying? Hey, like, where do I go from here? Like, I don't really know. I'm lost. Like, he just let me know, like, he's lost. Like, he's lost. Like, he doesn't know where to go, right? And I told him, I say, look, go down this hallway and you'll find exactly what you're looking for. So I guided him. I was able to guide him, and he somehow ended up next to a payphone, and he made a call. Like, y'all remember from the Matrix, the movie The Matrix, how, you know, they would get in the booth, they would call, and they would end up back into the physical. Y'all know The Matrix, right? So that's what it appeared to be. So during that, okay, right when that happened, after that happened, right, I ended up walking to another hallway. Right? So down this hallway was the exit door, right? And there was a staircase and I remember this vividly, like it was set up exactly like a school, like my high school, right? And everybody was like, this was like, I guess my teenage years, like coming into like my adulthood, like 18, 19, 20, right? So to the right, there was a staircase. I'm seeing people come down the staircase, and for whatever reason, you know, there was a huge wave of water. And again, when certain things come up in my dreams, I know that there's a specific reason as to why that's coming up, right? I know that there's a specific reason as to why that's coming up. So in this dream, water signifies, that's a message within itself, right? So as this water is coming down this staircase, it's getting more and more aggressive. This wave is getting more and more aggressive, right? And it seems as though whatever happens in the physical reality, within our physical reality, I have to go back into that space. I have to go back into that state of where I'm back in that room. So as that water came down, I ended up back in the room. Somehow I ended up back in the room, right? So I'm there, and I guess it was just that uncomfortable to where I ended up waking up, right? I ended up waking up. You know, I actually woke up in the physical realm, right? So I wanted to come on here and I wanted to tell you guys this dream, because this is gonna pretty much connect everything that I'm gonna be talking about, right? So in that dream, and shout out to Band Clap, because he was the one who kind of helped me with this, right? To help me understand this. I entered the golden age. Tupac in that dream had a gold aura. Not only was he wearing gold, but he had a gold aura, right? He looked exactly how he looked during his last days, the day he passed, right? He looked exactly how he looked. He just looked like a younger version of himself. And a lot more vibrant, right? So Tupac represents the golden age. We all know that the 90s were the golden age of hip hop. We all know that the 90s were the golden age of hip hop, right? Because we had some of the most powerful music coming out of that time. You know what I mean? Some of the most powerful music. And I feel as though that Pac, being who he was, the leader that he was, the messenger that he was, right? He ran from that responsibility, but that's not something that you can run from. It's embedded in you. It's programmed into you, right? And how can I have a few things in common Pac and I have a few things in common, right? One of the things me and Pac, as far as astrologically, we both have the Saturn and Taurus. And I believe, again, I had the dream during Aries season. His moon is he's an Aries moon, right? Now we're entering the Taurus season. He has an Aries moon in a Taurus, he has Saturn and Taurus. He has those placements, right? See, I'm a Cancer moon. I'm a Cancer moon with Saturn in Taurus. So I believe that him showing up in that dream, was the first key, the first omen, letting us know that we're entering the golden age, right? So there was, and I may put the description to this particular lecture, right? There was a Bobby Hemmett lecture that I watched, right? And he talked about Janus. Janus is a Roman Greek deity, right? Janus is a Roman Greek deity within Greek mythology, right? He's a two-headed deity representing both past, present, and future, right? Now, as we all know, Tupac is a Gemini. Pac is a Gemini. I feel as though that those two have a connection, right? I feel as though that those two have a divine connection, have a very spiritual connection, based off of the fact that this particular deity is the god of doorways, pathways, and gates. Doorways, pathways, and gates, right? And we're gonna get into this. I'm gonna show you all. I'm gonna show you all where I get this information from, my sources, or whatever the case may be, right? Just so we can make this connection. So by Pac being a Gemini, by Pac having that both, he has that old soul, but he also has that fiery, vibrant spirit that he had while he was here, right? And I don't know if you guys picked up on this type of energy that he had while he was here, but Tupac was a Shango archetype. And again, as always, I'm gonna shout my bro out. Bad Clap, he talked about this. Go to his channel, you guys go check him out, right? He talked about this. Tupac is the Shango archetype. Again, we don't necessarily choose these entities, these spirits as representative. They choose us. Shango was one of the Orisha that chose me as an archetype, as a representative, right? And I believe that there are a few things that having this energy that we can't run from. I know that I'm meant to be a leader. I know that I'm meant to be a king. I know that I'm meant to be sitting on the throne, right? Because I know who I am. And I feel as though while Pac was here, and this is not me comparing myself to Pac at all, but at the same time, like while Pac was here, he knew exactly who he was. His mother told him, you're meant to be a leader. He ran from it, but he understood, no, you're definitely a leader. Ashe. Welcome. Welcome. I appreciate that. I appreciate you coming in, man. Jerome Isaac, I appreciate you coming in. Welcome to the live stream. And yes, all the guys are woke, and the demigod's DNA is the constant rotation. Right, exactly. Right. So we are the gods. We are the goddesses. Right? So I believe that we're about to enter a golden age. But for whatever reason, they're trying to stop this energy from coming through. They're trying to stop this golden age, this golden era from re-emerging, right? Because during this golden age, there's going to be a lot of ascension. There's going to be a lot of ascension, a lot of elevation from those of us who are chosen, those of us who are quote unquote star seeds, whatever the case may be, right? And I believe that a lot of us are going to be coming into, a lot of people are going to be stepping into a state of consciousness that's almost going to scare them. That's how powerful this age, this era is going to be. This is not something that you can stop. This is not something that you can put a hold to. You can just, you get what I'm saying? It's inevitable. Like, it has to happen. So from right now, 2024 is the reset. 2024 is the reset, right? From 2024 to 2027, I believe that 2025, we're going to be truly entering that threshold, walking over that threshold of the golden age, of that golden era. Y'all let me know how it sounds. Y'all let me know if I'm too loud, if it's too low, the music is too high. So like I said, I believe that in 2025, once we've had our reset, we'll be walking over that threshold, right? And this deity, right? This deity, Janus, he is actually responsible for the month of January. And we all know when you go by a certain calendar, you know, January, that's the new year, right? January 1st, that's the new year, right? Although the actual new year is during springtime. But if you use the Western calendar, January is the new year, right? And I believe that once we walk through that threshold, once we enter that era, a lot of us are gonna be receiving what's owed to us, right? On a spiritual level, on a spiritual frequency. Spiritual gifts are going to be awakened during this time, right? A lot of spiritual gifts are going to be awakened during this time. Give me 1 second, y'all. All the spiritual gifts are going to be awakened during this time, right? So I want to get into the information, right? I want to get into the sources, right? Let me just give me 1 second, y'all. Y'all gotta bear with me. This is my first time doing this, so let's look into Janus. First of all, let's look at who he is, right? Y'all let me know if y'all can still hear me. This is Janus. This is the deity Janus, right? This represents the Gemini. Can y'all see my screen? Y'all let me know if y'all can see my screen. like I said, y'all bear with me, man. This is my first time doing this. Um, and there will be many more to come. But we'll move on. So, okay, like I said, this is the god Janus. I'm gonna read to you guys. If you guys can't see, I'm gonna read to you guys what this energy is, right? In Roman mythology, Janus held a unique and significant place as the god of beginnings, transitions, and passages. His dominion over these aspects of life made him one of the most important and revered deities in the Roman pantheon. Janus was famously depicted as having two faces, each looking in opposite directions. This imagery symbolized his ability to see both into the past and into the future, embodying the concept of transition in time. The dual face representation was unique to Janus, setting him apart from other Roman and Greek gods, right? So again, like I said, this represents Pak as the Gemini. Pak, we all know as thuggish, or as, you know what I mean? You know, he had that warrior thug life mentality, right? Well, Pak was also extremely intelligent. Pak was a mathematician. Pak played chess. Pak was he read books. Pak wasn't one dimensional. Pak was multi-dimensional being, right? Pak was multi-dimensional, right? So in his own right, I believe that Pak represents this energy. The guardian of doorways. As the god of doorways, gates, and passages, Janus was often invoked at the beginning of important events, journeys, and ceremonies. He was seen as the protector of the threshold, both in a literal and metaphorical sense, overseeing all beginnings and all endings, right? So again, I believe that Pak represents that key to unlocking that doorway, unlocking that gateway, entering and crossing over that threshold into the golden age, right? So let's look at Pak's natal chart, right? Sun in Gemini, Moon in Aries. Sun in Gemini, Moon in Aries. That's Shango. That Moon in Aries, that's Shango, right? Now, another thing that I want you guys to understand is this, right? Janus is also the moon of Saturn. Janus is also the moon of Saturn. Is one of the many moons that orbits Saturn. So as I said before, right? Pak's Saturn placement is in Taurus. We're now in the Taurus season. And shout out to my mama, man. You know, her birthday is tomorrow. My mama's a Taurus. Shout out to my mama, man. Happy birthday to my mama. You know, I hope she enjoys that day. You know what I mean? So as I said, right? Pak's Saturn placement is in Taurus. So we're entering this Taurus age. Okay, I see that it's lagging on the actual stream. So hopefully during the playback, you guys will be able to see everything. But we're going to keep going, right? So my Saturn is also in Taurus. My Saturn is also in Taurus, right? One second. Yeah, I see it's lagging a little bit. Like I said, we're going to keep going. Like I said, y'all continue to let me know how everything sounds. So having this Saturn in Taurus, right? That's placing too much value on material gain and material possession. That's placing too much value on certain things, right? But that's also a hard reality when it comes to self-worth, and values, right? So again, I feel as though that Pac having that Shango energy, him running from that leadership role, and this is something that I've been guilty of myself, right? Being in a certain space, being in that type of energy, you can't act as if you're normal. You can't act like everybody else. You can't. It's impossible. You can't. It's just not. It's not embedded into you. Now we all know that this Saturn is the placement of discipline. Saturn is the placement of rulership. So you're not going to have the same disciplines as everybody else. You're not going to have the same values as everybody else. And this is something that I believe that I struggle with as well. And so did Pop. Right? So let's look at his the most important placement that I want to look at right now is the Chiron in Aries. Right? Pac has a Chiron in Aries. We all know that that's the key. That's the key, right? That is the key with the Chiron in Aries. This is the wounded healer. Right? Now let's do this, right? Let's look at we haven't gotten there yet. Let's look at what that foretells, right? Chiron and Aries. What does that mean? The wounded of self, the wound of self, right? The Chiron and Aries wound. The Chiron wound can come from a lot of different types of trauma, but the outcome is always similar in a specific sign. In Aries, the Chiron wound is all about a core feeling of worthlessness. This is supposedly one of the most difficult yet important Chiron placements, although I tend to find that all Chiron placements are really painful. The reason that Aries can be so difficult is because it directly relates to who you are as a person, right? And as you know, of course, we think about Aries, right? As it says here, it says, they are generally sure of themselves, confident, bold, and daring, which he was, right? Again, he has that Aries moon, so quite naturally. So I believe that him having that placement, that Chiron and that in Aries, also having that moon in Aries, you listen to his music and you listen to a lot of the things that he spoke about, right? And a lot of the things that he went through, there was a sense of insecurity. There was a sense of worthlessness in his self-value. In his self-value, right? And we have to really look at Pac for who he was while he was down here. Because during that time, Tupac ascended. Not only mentally, but spiritually as well. You look at his entire career and you look at who he was while he was down here. There was symbolism all around him. Pac was a messenger. Pac was a messenger. You know, he was ahead of a lot of. He was ahead of a lot of rappers in the industry, right? He was ahead of a lot of rappers in the industry. There were not too many rappers who during that time, especially going towards 94, 95, 96. There wasn't too many rappers talking about the things that Pac was talking about. Brenda's had a baby. You know what I mean? That debut single was such a controversial topic. The record label almost didn't want to put the song out as a single, right? So this is Pop, knowing where he comes from, knowing where he comes from as a young black male, young black man, right? Violence, drugs, whatever the case may be, right? There's a sense of insecurity. There's a sense of self worthlessness, right? And I believe that throughout a span of his career, this is something. This is the shadow work that Pac constantly did on a daily basis, right? This is something that Pac did on a daily. This is the shadow work that Pac had to go through to heal this Chiron and Aries, right? To heal this wound. To heal this wound. Now, let's think about a wound, right? Let's think about a wound. A wound is an opening. A wound is a portal. A wound is a portal. It looks exactly like a portal. You think about a stab wound, a gunshot wound. It's a portal. How many times did Pac get shot? Pac got shot 5 times. Pac got shot 5 times, right? 5 is the number of transformations. 5 is the number of ascension. And this was the first time he got shot. This wasn't the shot that led to his untimely death. This was him before that incident, right? So those are other wounds that Pac had to heal. More wounds that Pac had to heal. So again, throughout Pac's entire, and the thing about Geminis, right? They know how to reinvent themselves because they know how to go through that transformation. They know how to go through that transformation, right? So throughout the span of his career, like I said, we really have to understand, and I've been watching a plethora of his interviews from when he was a child, when he was a teenager, the age he passed away, right? There was a transformation that Pac went through, and I feel as though that transformation, it wasn't complete because he only passed it at 25. I'm 25 years old now. I'm 25 years old right now. I'll be 26 this year. 25, the number 7, another powerful number in numerology, right? Another powerful number in numerology. Let's look up the numerology. Let's look up the spiritual meaning of the number 7, right? Is a spiritual number that represents inner wisdom, intuition, mysticism, and enlightenment. Again, Pac was enlightened. Pac was enlightened. He tried to come off as if he was just like this regular cat like this regular guy. No, no, Pac ascended. Pac went through that transformation, right? And I'm telling you all this because these are the things that we need to know when we're entering this age. When we're entering the shadow work, a lot of you may even feel as though that your shadow work is a lot more intense. It's a lot more intense, right? A lot of you may feel as though that your shadow work is a lot more intense this year. That's why. That's why. Because once we enter this golden age, this golden era, you're not going to be able to look at things the same. You're not going to be able to look at things the same. You're not going to be able to listen to music the same. You're not going to be able to watch movies the same. You're going to go through that ascension. You're going to go through that transformation, and that shadow work is so intense. And I personally, like as of lately, I personally have been going literally since 2024 has started. My shadow work has been extremely intense. Extremely intense. I've had to do shadow work for my relationship. I've had to do shadow work for my relationship with my parents. And it's been so intense to the point to where I'm literally crying. And I'm grateful for that because, again, I'll be 26. That's 8. In the year of 8. This is the year of 8. I'll be 26 years old this year. That's a powerful, powerful number. Powerful number. So I'm going through my own personal transformation. My own personal transformation. My Chiron is in Scorpio. My Chiron is in Scorpio. So I have deep, deep wounds to heal myself. Deep wounds to heal myself. I don't know, like I said, I don't know how many people are in that. I'm seeing only one as of right now, but I'm grateful. I'm extremely grateful right now. Beyond grateful. I appreciate everybody who's in the chat. I had to get on here and talk about this. I had to get on here and I had to talk about this. You know, this was something that Spirit prompted me, and as I always say, when I get these promptings, when I get that prompting to go live or to make a video, whatever the case may be, I have to get up and move. I have to get up and do what needs to be done. You know? And again, I feel as though that's the energy that Pac had. When he was moved to do something, when Spirit moved him to do something, when Spirit gave him that prompting to do something, that fire was lit up under him. That fire was lit up under him. And he did what needed to be done. He did what needed to be done. He definitely did what needed to be done. Now, something else that I want to talk about, right? Let's look at who Pac was named after. Tupac Amaru II. Tupac Amaru Rebellion was an Inca revival movement that sought to improve the rights of indigenous Peruvians suffering under the Spanish Bourbon reforms, right? So Tupac Amaru II was a revolutionary, indigenous Peruvian leader who resisted Spanish colonialism. This is who Pac was named. This is who Tupac was named after. This is who Tupac was named after. Who Tupac was named after. Tupac Amaru II, a revolutionary. And we all know that Tupac, his family, were in the Black Panther movement during that time. They were a part of the Black Panther Party. His mom was a part of the Black Panther Party. Revolutionaries. Tupac Amaru II was the leader of the largest uprising in colonial Spanish American history, which raged across the Andes from 1780 to 1783. It became more violent as it progressed. So Pac was destined to be a revolutionary. Pac was destined to be, to have that energy. This guy right here, another Shango archetype, another Shango, and I put so much emphasis on Shango because we have to understand who Shango is. We have to understand the energy of Shango. We have to understand the energy of Shango. We have to understand that Shango was about righteousness. Shango was about justice. Why do you think all of these so-called celebrities, political, leaders or whatever the case may be, are falling right now? All of these so-called political leaders and congressmen and senates, all of these famous record label, CEOs and executives are being exposed right now. Because when we're entering that golden age, all of this is going to come to an end. There's going to be justice. There's going to be righteousness. That's what I'm saying during this time. We're about to enter. The planet itself is changing. The planet itself is changing right now. Tupac knew who he was. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to find that this chain right here. Second, family. This is what I wanted to show you guys. That symbol. That symbol is power. That symbol is powerful. Like I said, Pac knew exactly who he was. Pac knew exactly who he was. Pac knew exactly what role he needed to play. He was the key. I'm telling you, Pac is the key to ushering in this new reality. Pac is one of those keys. Pac is one of those, you know, and studying him for so long, because I listened to Pac's music for so long. You see the transformation that he went through. You see how he evolved as a man. Now, one other individual that I want to talk about right before I get off of here, right, is Biggie, Notorious B.I.G., Biggie Smalls, right? Christopher Wallace. And the reason why I feel as though that I need to bring him up is because he represents that other half. Pac died at 25. Biggie was around 24, 25 as well. Both powerful energies. Both have powerful energies, and into ushering in, they represent that golden age of hip hop. That golden era. Right? And he represents another key. He represents another aspect of this golden age. So let's look at his placements, right? Sun in Gemini, Moon in Virgo. That automatically represents Legba. That represents Legba. That represents Legba, right? Papa Legba. Let's look at who Papa Legba is, right? And I almost don't want to search this up, but I have to. Who was Papa Legba? Papa Legba, the voodoo spirit of the crossroads. Papa Legba is often depicted as an elder with a cane, but can also take on youthful appearances. Right? That's powerful. Papa Legba is a divinity of the crossroad, the threshold between life and death, the world of the spirits and the living. Papa Legba has been referred to as the keeper or the master of the crossroad in Haitian voodoo, right? Bridge of the spirits. Biggie is that key. He's another key to entering that age, that golden age, that golden era. This is what I believe. This is just what I believe. This is the download that I received. This is the download that I received. I don't know how many people this video is going to get to. I don't know who's going to watch this video. I just know that I have to get this out because we're about to enter this age. We're about to enter this era. Now let's look at Biggie.